All right. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. We've got ViperMusashi, the purple zero here on the bottom left of Frost LE.
And his opponent spawning over here on the bottom right-hand side. Sorry to interrupt you. We have Dahum's Ratters spawning as the green Zerg pieces.
It's all good. We're going to kick off game one here. A little bit of a hiccup there. That's all right. Here we are, ready to watch an awesome ZVZ here.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, the first time we've seen Ratters play. I know he's out there in the chat, so thanks for showing up. Glad to have you with us.
This is, looking at the map at this point, I do like this map as well. There's a few of them that I do like, and this is one especially that I like a lot, just because of all of the attack paths and whatnot that you have.
Yeah, like I've said in the past, I really enjoy this map. It's big. You've got spawning places in all four corners. It's completely symmetrical. Really appealing to the eyes. Not only that, but it's great dynamics as well. Like you're saying, attack paths all over the place. And I think in general, there's a soft spot in my heart for the force spawn maps that are not crossed or forced cross spawns. The openers tend to be a little bit different there, as you have players that don't know where their opponent is right off the bat, forces them to do some scouting and such, as we see here.
Well, and not only if you don't know if it's forced cross or not, usually you have a tendency to play safer than if it is, say, forced cross spawn, because if you know your opponent's directly across from you lengthwise, that gives you a little more time to do something maybe a little bit risky that you won't be able to do.
Ratters
like
kicking
in this
it off.
case where they
Pool
spawn.
first, man.
Pool first, what?
Ratters pool first, and we've got the hatch coming down for ViperMusashi there. No pool just yet, and there it goes.
So this is actually something that we've seen from Viper the last few games of his that we've had, and it's nice to see him continuing to play a style that's very, very comfortable to him.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw throughout his series with Tythor that this is some pretty standard stuff from him. Although Tythor did win that series, ViperMusashi still appears to be very comfortable with the ZBZ.
Yeah, definitely, and I think I think just in general he understands the matchup very well and is actually able to read his opponent really well once he does finally get the scout off.
Yeah, and you know what? He might be in Silver League, but I think that is not indicative of his skill at all. I mean, it's very apparent that he's got some good Zerg macro, some good game knowledge, far above any Silver League player that I'd ever run into a few months ago. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we've definitely had the conversation before about how the ladder is a little weird right now, just in terms of where players are and how it actually works. So, I mean, it definitely wouldn't surprise me if Viper, if he hasn't already, gets bumped up in the next few games, if he keeps as consistent as he has been. And now we do see 4 lings from Ratters coming across the map here on the right-hand side. They're going to come through the middle and pass right by this Zelnaga tower. Probably not going to take it, but that is okay.
Yeah, we do see also from Viper, he's got his metabolic boost in production quite a few seconds before Ratters just now starting his own. And no lings out just yet for Viper, but he does have that.
And actually not in production.
Yeah, he actually
had 2 there. Are a couple lings out.
There were 2 that just came out there, so he did.
And
see
look
those,
at that micro. Did you see that micro from Ratters?
Yeah. Well,
pulling the weakenly back.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a misclick. He did cancel that Baneling Nest, but there's the response, of course, seeing that his opponent already has lings at his base. Notice he went for an early pool, so goes ahead and drops that Baneling Nest there.
Yeah, and I like that play a lot because, as we've said before, the Ling Bane Wars, they are kind of fun to watch. Probably really stressful for the players. I don't actually know that one for fact since I don't play Zerg, but
yeah,
I can definitely imagine them being really, really stressful because one little slip.
Well, dude, look at the response from Ratters, the Baneling Nest. So that's what we will see. At least I'm hoping so.
Well, now the real question is which player is going to be first to go into Roach production.
I almost expected that would be the response from Ratters after seeing his opponent drop down the Baneling Nest. He's going to go Banelings. Why don't I just go for Roaches? They're good against Lings, they're good against Banelings, but I suppose Banelings are just as effective.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, if you look at the vision for Ratters, he knows that there's a building right where that Baneling Nest is, but I'm not 100% sure that he knows that it is in fact a Baneling Nest.
He did have a few Lings up there, that he would have clicked on it to see what exactly it was, since that's kind of a important thing to do, especially in ZVZ.
And Viper actually getting the scout off just as we were talking about that, and sees that Radders has a Baneling nest as well.
Yeah, and Radders losing one of the overlords to the Queen of ViperMusashi, now supply blocked for a little while. Ooh, and the Spire down for Musashi after seeing that.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate response, especially considering, what he saw up in the main, and I don't think he felt that he was under much pressure to do anything other than go Spire.
And I like this too from ViperMusashi, the Evo Chamber wall there starting at the natural.
Yeah, and that's something I feel like we see more so now, especially when you get into the...
It's kind of interesting that I said that, because look at Radder's natural. It's kind of the same thing going on there, just a little bit quicker.
Well, and like I said, I think in a lot of ways that's a response to the changing meta of specifically the early expands coming from the other two races.
Yeah.
It allows you to choke off that entrance a little bit more, as opposed to leaving it wide open to ling run buys and such. I mean, we did obviously see it late in Wings of Liberty, or mid to late Wings of Liberty, but I think right now, if you don't do it, you're probably in for a world of hurt.
In Wings of Liberty, that was pretty much due to, I think the early Hellion harass you get from Terrans pretty much every game at a TVC. Just kind of learn to use those Evo chambers as walls there.
Yeah, and we actually do see a third coming down from Radders now. Now, Radders is going to have the economic advantage as soon as this comes up. His natural is saturated, the main is saturated, obviously, and yeah, the minute that pops, he is in the immediate economic advantage, as long as he can drone behind it.
Though we do have 2 Mutalisks in production for Viper, and I can only expect that number is going to get higher here, though we do also have a Spore Crawler in the natural for Radders, so also in the main as well, so, unless he gets a critical mass of mutas, he's just not going to be able to do enough damage if he uses those for harass, but we'll see. Also, Radders here getting the denial there on the third of Viper. Ooh, look at that Baneling bust. Did you see that?
I did not.
That was a great cleanup. Great Baneling bust by Viper.
Yeah, you're just a little bit ahead, so I'm sorry if I don't catch anything great when it happens.
Let's fix this. I'm at 10:30 now. There you go.
Works for me. So we do have more Banelings forming over here in the front of the base for ViperMusashi. That natural for Radders is just now finishing up, and yeah, 2 mutas are in production for Radders. We have 3 more in production for Viper, along with some upgrades.
Yeah, it just seems like both of these players just kind of copying each other at this point. I mean, we saw Viper try to nail down his own third. Radders cleaned it up, and we see the push out of Lings from Viper.
These mutas are going to go ahead and spot that, but I don't know.
Watch out for these Baneling busts. So many Banelings coming from Viper.
One goes off.
Oh, pick him off with the mutas.
Although we do have single hooks for Viper. Oh my god.
And the third is just falling.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
2 base Ling. Oh, and he doesn't quite get the third. That's to save it.
Yeah, and at least at this point, Radder is still continuing to lead, especially with Larva count. Now we do have kind of the counterattack from Viper coming in here, which more than likely is going to get cleaned up between the Lings, the Broodlings, and the Mutas that are already here.
Yeah, that push wasn't too successful for Viper. Just enough to annoy his opponent and take down an Evo Chamber, but it wasn't really producing any updates, so...
Yeah, and one thing that I think was a little bit of a miscue, and we do see Viper go ahead and drop down that third now, but he didn't expand right when he decided to attack. That hatchery could have been a little farther along than it is now, and he could have at least come back through and tried to catch up in that front.
Yeah. And this is just the flock from Radders is just growing larger and larger and larger. We've got a decent sized flock from ViperMusashi. There are just 3 more Mutalisks for Radders as opposed to Viper. It's really interesting when you see these mirror builds going out of both players. They're just going to try to beat each other down to the same composition. It's all down to who has the better control. When the third falls for Radders, both players down to 2 bases. Third not quite finished.
Yeah, Viper's third is about a quarter of the way done.
Man. Those Baneling busts, we've seen some great busts this game so far.
Yeah, they've been absolutely phenomenal. Some great control coming out of Viper.
You know, and Ratters has the 11 supply lead, but I really think both these players are just so even. Oh, and the queen in main.
It looks like that queen is
gonna get saved with one hit point.
Oh,
and she falls. That was so close.
well, and he does manage to get a couple of drone kills in that exchange. If we go ahead and look at the workers kill tab, we have 4 drones killed. I'm assuming they're all coming from that between that exchange and the one before it, just in terms of
there are also
the drones running out.
Are there any queens on the map for Ratters? I'm looking at.
There is one. It is in the natural.
Oh, it's heading back to the natural to do those injects, and now going to hit the main. Oh, that's got to hurt so much.
And then we have the Muta counter attack over here by Ratters, and ViperMusashi going to go ahead and fend that off. Now it is +1 attack to +1 armor, so those effectively negate themselves. So
yeah.
I see in the chat file says he has a Baneling boner. That's wonderful.
A Baneling boner, huh? And look at the macro hatch for Ratters, realizing that he's a little bit behind on production after losing those queens, not being able to get that inject. That extra hatchery to get that production down, it's going to be crucial, but giant flock from ViperMusashi here at the third for Ratters. He's a good, and the flock from Ratters arrives and retreats. This is just insane.
Oh, and he does get the third. So that that third hatchery does go down, but he does, as you said, have the macro hatch up here in the front of the natural.
And Viper's not like behind him outside third just yet. Oh, and he gets set of first round. That was that a misclick? Oh, that was not good at all from ViperMusashi. He's gonna lose all of his Mutalists.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a misclick. He looked like he was going to try and move command through. At first, I thought he was trying to pick off the Overseer, but that didn't end up happening. We do see the Ling's going to come over here and try and surround the Lings from Ratters, and not going to happen. That army from Viper does get cleaned up, and
likely going to see a counterattack.
Yeah, Viper kind of in a panic right now. If you look at his production, 20 Lings, 3 Mutas, and there are a couple of Mutas that just popped, but this is a pretty sad position to be in. He's only got 6 Mutas total.
Is he going to go for the third, or is he going to kind of bounce around here to the main to do a little bit of harassment? Or, the alternate attack path.
I honestly think at this point it might be useful just to push up and see what damage you can do. You definitely have the superior army count, but I also understand when you're ahead, you want to get even further ahead. And the encounter comes in now. The Ling's getting cleaned up. The Muta's also getting cleaned up. And
it's so bad for Viper. He's dropping down a few scores there at the third. They're not going to finish in time to clean up these Mutalists, and he's going to lose his third as well. Meanwhile, Ratters drops his own third. This game's just been back and forth so far, though. The supply lead is definitely in Ratters' favor right now. Yeah,
definitely. It started to bounce back and forth, and then I think that little miscue by Viper is actually what cost him the game. That move command to try and pick off, like I said, I'm assuming it was the Overseer.
That's what it looked like.
And it didn't work out very well for him. Now we see Viper still sitting on 1 attack, no armor upgrades, and now Ratters is sitting on 0-2 for his Mutas. So his Muta is a little more durable at this point.
That, and he's also got 10 more Mutas than ViperMusashi, so if he decides to engage here at any point, it's not going to end well for Viper. And look, we do see the push coming here.
And that is in true Zerg style for the Swarm.
I'm sad we're not seeing any more Banelings though, but hopefully his Baneling boner has not subsided.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a few more games in this series left to go, so I'm sure we will definitely see it again.
Oh no, Viper losing most of engaging over the Spore Crawler is a great idea, but we'll see if it's an effect of losing all of his Zerglings.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Oh no.
Does manage to kill off that Spore Crawler. At least one. All of the Mutas from Viper are now dead. Engaging the back Spore Crawler is going to lose a couple of Mutas in that engagement. Decide to actually pull back.
Which I think is a good decision. There's no need to go ahead and fight those Spore Crawlers when you don't exactly need to. He's going to clean up those drones with the Lings he has. And really, I think it's going to be GG here soon, just because Viper just doesn't have anything to counter this Mutaball right now.
Yeah, and that's a rough spot to be in. Now he's going to go ahead and try and counterattack with all these Lings. The Broodlings aren't going to make it far, but he does manage to get all of those run-by cut off.
So many.
Yeah, a nice big old swarm.
GG, nice macro from Viper.
So there's game number 1.
Wow.
With Radders taking it.
Yeah.
And I would almost say a very commanding fashion.
You know, earlier on, it really felt like Viper was going to pull back after destroying his opponent's third base, but you know, it was obvious that he couldn't win the tug of war there, and Radders came out on top.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, that missed micro in the middle of the Muta battle was what really kind of was the last nail in the coffin, because right from there, that's when everything started to really slip, and you could definitely tell that Radders was pulling ahead by leaps and strides.
All right, well, the shitty thing is that we've now got to log back into BattleNet. And actually, you know, I can access the replay just out of the folder. So boot up game 2 here, unless it doesn't look like it's gonna cooperate. That's fine. All right. You guys loading up game 2?
I am. I'm just about there, actually.
Alrighty. Cool. Same here. Let's get in there.
Slowly but surely.
That's okay. I mean, this is it's how it used to be done, and I guess you don't really know what you got until it's gone.
That's right.
As far as having your replays and parties.
Yeah.
And we will stop this here at 0 seconds. And I'm ready when you guys are. Just let me know.
I am ready.
0 good to go? All right. 3, 2... What's that? Count it down? All right. 3, 2, 1, play. And spawning on the top left of Star Station Tournament Edition are Purple Zerg, ViperMusashi.
And his opponent spawning down here on the bottom right-hand side, spawning as the green Zerg pieces, we have Radders, who took the last game in a pretty commanding fashion after losing his third base and then just kind of power macroing behind it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good choice to drop that macro hatch and boost his production. Really, really evident that he wants to end the game right there. And we will see what happens here in game 2, and if either player decides to play in a similar fashion as far as Muta Ling Bling. I'd expect, you know, if we do see another early Ling push from either of these players, that a Roach response might be preferred over a Mutalisk. But
it might actually be kind of fun to see one player still continue to go Mutaling Bane, but then have the other player go Roach Hydra.
You know, that would be really interesting. But as we've seen in the past here in the DKTL, Roach Hydra, man, it's pretty damn good against Mutaling Bling.
It is. It is.
Do you see Viper going for a spawning pool first?
Still no response out of Radders. I'm assuming we'll see probably the same out of here. Now we do have, I'm assuming that's
that extractor trick.
Yeah, we do have the extractor trick come out of Viper.
Related but unrelated, Day9 posted a pickup line for like a StarCraft pickup line. It was kind of funny. And you know how it goes. Hey girl, did you just extractor trick? Because you're 11 out of 10. You gotta love that.
You gotta give him credit on that one for trying. And we do see Radders. The spawning pool is about halfway done right now, and the spawning pool for Viper is in fact done. He's gonna go ahead and take his first gas geyser. And an early expand coming out of Radders.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously going for the pool first, though we did see ViperMusashi going ahead and getting his gas a little bit earlier. Definitely wanting to go ahead and grab that metabolic boost as fast as possible. Lings are running out across the map for ViperMusashi. And what are we owing about?
Oh, I was owing about the Lings.
Oh, okay.
This has potential to be really bad. We do see now 2 Lings in production for Radders, but this army is going to get there along with those reinforcements. And
the Queen will probably be out in time for those Lings to come into the main. Maybe. I mean, I should take that back. Oh, they're stopping. All right, the Lings are stopping, so I think that Queen's going to be done in time. But like you said, there are only 2 Lings in production. Those 2 Lings are heading right out across the map, and now you notice he's got to bring him back. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So the Queen is done. We will see how this turns out.
Yeah, I mean, like, he may have to pull drones to defend this. This is... Uh-oh.
He's trying to get the surround on those links. Ooh, and great
Oh,
surround. And he was able to clean that up so easily. Very well done by ViperMusashi. The Queen surviving with 40 health left. Very well done by Radders, I mean, excuse me.
Yeah, and only one drone kill for Viper, so that was really well done for Radders. Radders actually able to just hold that off and now secure his natural and continue to pump drones.
Getting that surround with those drones was awesome. Looks like he's going to drop a spine crawler. Good contingency plan, I suppose. You know, if your opponent pushed with a lot of lings once, they're probably going to go for another push. Though we also see the spines from ViperMusashi probably fearing a counterattack. Also gets the Baneling Nest, yeah. So, very interesting.
Down for Radders now. Radders, as you said, putting down that spine crawler in his main as well. Queen at the natural is just about to pop. And
it seems like both of these players feel a bit threatened right now, obviously because of the spine crawlers in the main. Though neither of them are actually pushing out to be aggressive just yet. But it is possible Viper's waiting for that speed that will be done here in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and actually I would kind of like to... Oh, let me just see a second spine crawler. I would have liked to have seen Viper continue to push that. I feel like a follow-up push would have done a lot of damage. We do see those lings and the drone move out right now.
The drone.
I almost feel...
Catch, right?
Yeah. I almost feel like Viper missed his window of opportunity there.
Yeah, we will see what happens here. I mean, the spine crawler will likely be done before the push arrives, and he has quite a few lings here at the front. And we've already seen that Radders has some pretty good micro. And, ooh, the spine crawler popping just as the lings arrive. And Viper pulling back just a little bit to make some banelings. Really, we don't see a baneling nest out of Radders just yet. He's going to have to micro very well to avoid these banelings.
Yeah, this is...
Oh, let's see that. How is this good? Oh, no.
And... Oh...
Wow.
That was... Ouch. That hurts. It was beautiful, but it hurts.
That was beautiful, but, as he said...
It was beautiful. It was very beautiful. It was a nice baneling connection, but it does hurt. I'm sure Radders is feeling a little bit of the pain right now.
Another decent.
And actually, that was a really nice connection with that spine crawler to take out at least one of the banelings. There was still one more that detonated on the lings, but another set of lings going to pop out here for Radders and take care of that.
Yeah, the wave 2 from ViperMusashi is on the way across the map. Radders definitely got to feel the pressure at this point. Not actually dropping a baneling nest of his own. He tends to just deal with the zone.
And you know, I actually do like that. Just planning on dealing that, like, just continue to flood lings. You're on two bases right now. You definitely have the economic advantage. And I think this
an economic advantage can only go so far when getting hit with banelings by ViperMusashi in this sort of fashion.
Well, but eventually your opponent's just going to run out of production capability.
Yeah, but
he's going to be limited by larva.
And that's for Radders' fault.
You know what? At this point, I would say let him have it because the broodlings are going to do their own. He does get a nice surround there.
And, you know, he has a little bit of money banked up, so he will be slightly ahead of his opponent. But both of these players are just one basing at this point. Oh, and another big spawn of lings there out of Radders, and it looks like he's getting counterattack. I don't know.
I think he might need to watch himself and definitely micro like a champ to avoid those banelings. But
is there going to be another connection? Oh! This one thing down.
Oh, that was nice.
Nice. Yeah.
He did actually manage to bait one of those out.
Is he dropping? Yeah, he's dropping his own baneling nest now.
And he actually baited out the last one, so now Viper's going to have to wait for these two banelings to morph. And
this is exactly what we wanted to see.
This is exactly what we wanted to see, and these two players delivered.
Exactly. Oh, let's see. Wait for a connection.
Uh-oh.
Target firing the baneling to complete that spine. Gonna try and get some drone kills. Oh. Oh, not doing anything there. And that queen is getting low. He's gonna have to protect that queen, and look, he just goes ahead and starts production of the second queen there in the main.
Yeah, and I like that play a lot, and I actually feel like at this point it would be safe to go ahead and try and expand again for Ratters. Because, I mean, definitely at this point you have to figure he knows that Viper is just content to sit on what he's on. He's limiting himself in gas income right now because he's dragged a couple of drones with him. So he's only got one guy in the...
He's only got 8 workers harvesting minerals at this point.
Oh, and those were some great Baneling connects from Ratters. Taking out a large number of those lings. And like I said, at least at this point, he's got to know something's up. He's got to know Viper's still on one base. And even though he only had his own natural for a short time, he definitely took full advantage of it.
I think Woodhouse actually managed to travel forward in time.
Did I?
I'm at 12:30 right now.
I'm at 12:27.
12:27?
Yep.
Okay. Maybe I'm a little bit ahead. That's alright. We should be pretty even right now. Sorry about that. And yep, like you said, there goes the second base.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's a really smart move because, I mean, at this point, like I said, he has to figure his opponent is still one basing.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the Overlord there. He does have the Overlord there for vision, so he knows his opponent has not taken his base by any means.
And actually, it's just now expanding. But we do have a large wave of Banelings coming in from Ratters, and by large, I mean 3. So, I mean, that's huge.
Hey, man, when only one of those connections can pretty much wipe out all of these lings, 3 is all you need.
That is very true. Now, Ratters is going to have to be careful. He does send one Baneling in. And, oh, okay. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Several links from my Fuck it. Oh, no.
So we see Viper go down. No games to 2
for GG.
And
fuck it.
And Ratters going up in the series 2-0. And now we get the long, arduous journey back into StarCraft 2.
Exactly. Viper is going to take away the next 3 games. He's obviously stressed.
He's on tilt. I would say he's on tilt.
He's on tilt. I think he's just testing his opponent at this point. He's got something up his sleeve. All right. Loading that StarCraft 2. All right, let's go into game 3.
So for game 3, what are we expecting?
I don't know, man. We've already seen the early push from Viper, trying to finish his opponent off early. Just couldn't quite get it done.
And I mean, at this point, I would almost like to see. I would like to see more rage for sure, but definitely.
Is this the new Idra?
He might be the new Idra. Viper might, in fact, be the new Idra.
The Idra of the DKTL.
That's right.
As long as he is okay with being called that, I would be just fine with calling him Idra for the rest of the series. Or the rest of the tournament, even. All right, let's stop this here at 0 seconds. Just make sure everybody's where we need to be.
Oh, I am definitely where we need to be.
0. Ready to go? All right, I'll count down for you guys, and we'll start off game 3 on Yansu. 3, 2, 1, play. All right, spawning on the bottom left of Yansu Ladder Edition for the War Chief, the Purple Zerg ViperMusashi.
So spawning up here on the top right-hand side of Yansu, we do have Ratters, who's up in the series 2-0. We'll have to see if he can put it away in this series, or if he lets ViperMusashi keep his foot in the door.
If I was Ratters, this is the game where I either cheese or all in, one of the two, whether they're the same thing, whatever. Just gotta put the nail in the coffin. You can afford to lose a game or two, but try to get the series done over easy. And we'll see if he actually decides to do that. I don't know. I mean, he obviously has really good macro, especially in comparison to ViperMusashi. And that's not to say ViperMusashi hasn't been doing well, but obviously the past 2 games we've seen Radders have superior macro when it comes to Zerg play.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I do agree with you. If there's ever going to be a game that you're going to cheese, I definitely feel like this would be the one for Radders to do it in.
It obviously was not a 6 pool or a 10 pool. I'm expecting probably the same thing. You know, maybe the 14 pool, 14 hatch that we've seen. And there's the pool. And I'm actually, you know, we did see the extractor trick from ViperMusashi, so we'll see what he decides to do. Is he going to grab an expansion? Looks like he's probably going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, Viper, again, continuing to play really, really standard. You can definitely tell that this is a build that he's very, very comfortable in executing.
Yeah.
As we did see in the last season, he managed to execute it really, really well multiple times over multiple rounds and have it produce some really good success. But on the other hand, we do see Radders throwing down his own pool. So Radders, if he wants to, could in fact go ahead and go for that early push, do a lot of early damage to his opponent, and I don't know that Viper would be able to come back from it.
I mean, we do see the spawning pool just now finishing for Radders. We will see if he decides to produce any lings here soon. He doesn't have gas, so he's not going for that quick speed, but neither does ViperMusashi have his own gas, and his spawning pool is a little bit behind, but he does have that faster expansion. So like you said, if Radders is going to put the herd on, he's got 4 links in production right now. He might be able to do some damage because we have seen that he has some great micro.
Yeah, definitely. And I, like you said, we see the expansion for Radders go down. The expansion for Viper is just about finished. Both players taking gas at this point. Radders is going to be seriously behind his opponents.
Radders does see, the expansion for ViperMusashi. Just notice that his opponent is not going for a super early push. So we will see if he just decides to macro up on his own, as it seems that he's tried to, but just been interrupted by ViperMusashi in the past couple of games.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think Viper has definitely a clear plan of where he wants to go, but Radders is really, really good at I'm thinking picking up that scent and then definitely going for it and saying, nope, you're not going to do it, and trying to like squish the ant before it even can run away.
Ooh, so the Roach Warren. The Roach Warren for ViperMusashi. It's the first time we have seen roaches in this series.
I'm really excited now.
Yeah, it appears that Radders has been more of the reactive player in these past few games. You know, he put down his own Bailey Nest in response to Viper's Bailey Nest. Ooh, and we do see this Overlord here stuck between 2 queens, and it is going to get picked off there.
2 queens, 1 Overlord?
And it dies.
2 queens, 1 Overlord.
2 queens, 1 Overlord, stuck between a rock and a talon-filled place.
No, we see metabolic boost coming out now for Radders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see this Roach Warren come out.
He's got metabolic boost. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is something that we haven't seen. Maybe we'll actually see the plan for Viper work out, in the sense that he might get to his Roach Hydra build that he seemed to prefer anyway in the last
Do you see the Bailey Nest here in Radders main?
I do.
You know, maybe he's just suspecting that lings are going to be coming out of Viper, since that's what he's seen the past 2 games. But as we've seen in the past, and most of us know, roaches are pretty damn good against banelings. So it'll be interesting to see the transition out of this when Radders notices that his opponent has a Roach Warren. Oh, and the double Evo chamber once again, coming from ViperMusashi. You're going to get up on those ranged upgrades.
Yeah, and I like that play a lot, and I think actually it lends itself well to what we were just talking about with him trying to go right into that Roach Hydra mix that he seems to prefer.
And once again, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. That's fine.
I was going to say, we do have the Evo chambers from Radders in the exact same position, just a couple seconds earlier. So he is actually starting missile attacks there, ViperMusashi, and ground carapace 1. So I think we're going to see some Roach Hydra, man.
Yeah, and I'm actually really excited for it. Another thing that kind of tipped that off is if you look at the lings for ViperMusashi, there is no wings at all for them.
Oh
Now the
wow,
lings
yeah,
from Ratters are over here in the third.
yeah.
And Viper does know that they're there, but I don't think at this point he has anything to deal with them. Now, he did throw down a Minecrawler in response, but none of that is going to be done in time for any sort of push. But the Lings do just go ahead and run back over here to the rocks. Going to go ahead and help Viper out and do him a solid and break down those rocks.
I mean, this is definitely the right choice for Ratters. You know, ViperMusashi does see that the rocks are getting taken down, so he does cancel that Baneling nest there.
Now, the Spine Crawler is going to finish, and as we just saw, that wall is not tight in any way, shape, or form, or it wouldn't have been, as the Lings do run by. That range, yeah, the Spine Crawler going to go ahead and pick away at that, and oh no, that could have been really bad for Viper.
Yeah, Ratters apparently didn't want to commit there. I'm not sure why. I think he definitely could have taken out those Lings before those roaches pop, but now the roaches are done, and I think the opportunity for Ratters to do some damage there with those Lings is now over.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And then we do see some roaches pop out for Viper, and I don't know if you were paying attention earlier, but Viper did in fact get the Queen, or not the Queen, the Overlord speed.
Yeah, I did see that as well.
Something that in the last season that he did a lot as well. So I would like to definitely see him go for, I would almost say roach drops would be a lot of fun to see, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, especially because we do see the Spires just about finished here for Ratters. He's going to have Mutas on the field at any minute. Though the Lings and Roaches are coming across the map for ViperMusashi. This could be a pretty big push, but the Banelings are in production.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if these Banelings are going to finish in time, though.
I don't know. We've got a few spines down back in the base, there. But yeah. All the Lings are dead.
Yep, that was what I was afraid of right there. Now we do actually get to see, though, the lack of melee power from the roaches here.
Ratters is so good at defending these early pushes, pulling all of his drones to back up those Lings there, and really not losing a whole lot. You know, that push just got crushed.
Yeah, that push was completely obliterated. That was really good play by Ratters. Also managing to pull the drones just in case. Now, it doesn't look like he actually lost very many, if any. He lost 2, which...
Really, I think that was worth it. It could have been a lot worse. Also grabbing his third base, too. So, definitely going to take the economic lead here, but we do see another push from ViperMusashi with slow Lings and Roaches.
That's going to get scouted right away. I didn't realize this before, but Ratters did have that watchtower on the bottom side of the map. So he does know everything that's going on. Now, we did miss a Spire going down, and there are Mutas out on the field now, so those Roaches are going to have a pretty sour time trying to deal with all of this, considering they can't shoot up.
Hey, man, I called the Mutas.
Did you? I'm sorry. I must have missed it somewhere.
No, that's all right. But yeah, like you said, the Roaches are going to get cleaned up here, and this is an opportunity to do some damage if you can actually back this wave up here, Ratters. Though we do see from Viper quite a few Spore Crawlers in the natural base as well as in the main, and Hydras in production.
Yeah, we do see the Hydra next coming down as well. So this is going to be the very standard ViperMusashi.
Ooh, he's going to have to get that cancel on the third, and he doesn't get the cancel.
Oh, that's pretty sour.
Yeah, that is not fun at all. But yeah, like you said, the standard ViperMusashi we've seen has been Roach Hydra. And I think if he can get a critical mass of Hydras up, I mean, this block is starting to grow. It's denying ViperMusashi his vision over the map. All these Overlords have been taken out. And really, it's going to take a lot to end up taking these Mutalisks out, unless Ratters is really done with them. But
you know, that's not something that we've seen from Ratters, though. And yeah, Ratters is going to fight here over the...
Those transfuses from Ratters or from Viper.
Those were wild. Those were very wild. Those were insane.
He's heating up, man.
He is. He's finally heating up. He's coming off of the tilt, but I think it may be a little too late.
It's quite possible. He's only got a few Hydralisks here, and it's not enough anti-air to actually take out these Mutas. Though the number is starting to dwindle. I mean, he did lose a few Mutas in that last engagement. He's got the Queen there, and obviously the great transfuses to keep the Queen alive. Is he going to save this one? And, he loses that Queen.
You know what? That's okay, though. He made up for it on those last transfuses. I would contend that he definitely made it up on that one.
You know, Viper can't exactly be harassed by these mutas just because Spore Crawlers are so damn strong. We will have to see Riders make a big push at some point, but we are starting to see several Hydralisks start to pop out here for ViperMusashi, bringing that count up to 14, and they're at 2-2, so that is going to hurt these Mutalisks.
Yeah, Ratters is definitely going to have to pick his engagements well here because, as we've seen in the past, Hydras, they're amazing.
Especially when they're upgraded, they can just tear these Mutalisks apart as long as they are protected by the Roaches, which I think, these aren't too many Zerglings here on the ground for Ratters. These Roaches should be able to take care of them, but we're not seeing an engagement just yet. The third down for ViperMusashi trying to bring himself back into the economic game.
And we actually see Hydra Speed just finishing up. Level 2 Flyer Carapace is also on the way for Adders, so that's going to help negate a little bit of the damage coming out of those Hydras, but they are still so damn good. I mean, it's hard to actually explain until you see them, rip apart a flock of Mutalisks.
Yeah. Infestation Pit for Viper and Ratters. Viper's just a little bit faster. Looks like, I don't know, maybe going to go for that Hive Tech.
I do like that play a lot. Now we do see some Banelings coming up. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Canceling all of them.
Okay, there we go. That could have been really, really sad.
It really could have if they were allowed to get to those Hydralisks, but they were all canceled, so we won't see that today. The macro hatch for Ratters there at the third going down.
Yeah, definitely. And Ratters is still in a really good position. He managed to secure his third a little while ago. And, I mean, in that time, he has definitely, power droned, I would almost say, behind this, throwing down that extra hatchery for a little bit extra.
Yeah, I mean, he realizes he's got the economic lead. As we have seen the past 2 games, his macro is very good. Obviously, dropping that macro hatch, droning up, he definitely wants to secure a win here, whether the game ends soon or later on. And are we going to see a big push? It just might be. Ooh, ViperMusashi's. Okay, I was going to say, his army's going to be out of place here if Ratters decides to push.
I was a little bit confused as to why he was actually pushing back into his main. I don't know whether he just. I didn't know whether it was a misclick or he just.
Oh no, the Banelings are all detonating on the Russian.
Oh, that was sour.
No, I mean,
everything else stuck on the move command. Viper getting completely wiped off.
Such a bad engagement. I mean, that is exactly what Viper wanted. He wanted those Banelings to be wasted on the Roaches, but splitting up his army in 2 accidentally like that really was not. Hydras are still going to do a lot of damage though. That number of kids is just too big. Things are going to get taken care of by the Roaches. Gonna eventually start taking care of the Roaches. But
yeah, that was that first big engagement.
Yeah,
was definitely another one of the misclicks where it was definitely stuff stuck on a move command, and Viper just miscuing and getting most of his army killed. So now he's playing catch up again. So this is becoming a recurring theme in this series to see Viper playing off of his back foot, so to say, and it's really tough to come back from a position.
He did manage to keep that third alive, but as we've seen, Ratters has had that third base mining for a long time now. He's got the macro hatch. He's at 151 supply to Viper's 126, so Viper is starting to fall behind. But we will see a push out here from Viper. So, I mean, these Hydras are at 2-2, but that's a lot of mutas.
With the 0-2 mutas, though, they are definitely protected from whatever the Hydras can do to them. And at this point, actually, I think it might be a good thing for Viper to just go ahead and go try and take another base to try and catch up. Because at this point, I feel like that's the only thing that can actually catch him back up in this game is to go try and take a fourth. Now, whether that fourth is in a straight line in the bottom right corner of the map or in the top is going to make a world of difference on how this game plays out.
Yeah, I mean, we do see he's mined out at the main base. All the mining bases he has are at the natural and the third. But Ratters also still has a few minerals left there in the main. Ooh, his army split up again. It's going to get caught with his pants down.
No.
That's not what he wants.
No, this divided army is going to fall. Oh, no. That was terrible misplay.
2 engagements where this happened, and that is going to cost him the game, I feel. The number of roaches and items here just to mute a ball. It's just getting picked away at by Zerglings and Banelings, and Needles went ahead of there and cleaned that right up.
Yeah, that ball, like, it was definitely just a misclick on Viper's part, but it was a click that basically cost him the game. And like I said, that's the second time we've seen that happen, and it's definitely not something you want to have happen.
Not at all. But
too late in the game for those rookie mistakes.
He's going to lose pretty much everything here at the third. The third falls, drones are dying. You know, if he doesn't lose here soon, he's going to lose later on, because now he's stuck to 1 mining base.
Yeah, we do see reinforcement links coming up from Radders here on the kind of in the middle of the map up here by what would be the normal 4th or 3rd, depending upon how you play this map out. They're going to go ahead and pull back.
Yeah, Radders went ahead and dropped his own 4th base, so he is going to secure that lead that he's had pretty much this entire game. Viper just cannot afford to make mistakes like that anymore. I feel like it's too late to come back, though.
And now we see some ultras out on the map.
That Hive Tech, man. I also saw him researching 3 armor. He has no ground attack, but 3 armor, and those ultras are going to be devastating.
Yeah, they are, especially if he goes for the ultra armor, the level 5 or whatever it is, which he does have. He actually does have the full 5 armor. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and try and drop these rocks on everything, and he does manage to split that army up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh, no. There we go. Radders taking a series